what 2020 and now 2021 is doing, because it's like activating the deepest fear pattern in us, even the old one, but it's like they put the gear on, like the next gear. So even if we were managing to cope with all of that in 2019, now because they change gear, it's just like we go on other layers because the triggering go much deeper. So that's normal to see like old things or to be confused on some level, and then we can work with that. But that's what they are aiming at, and they are targeting, you know, specific people with this fear program. And if you're not afraid of the fear virus, they will trigger other type of fear, like fear about the new world order, fear about our survival, you know, old also things hidden like this loneliness. And what is important is to focus on what we have. If we have trust in our life, to go seek to see that, to think about, okay, how was it like 5 years ago, and now I have this seeing that the quality evolved since then, and knowing that it will continue to the future. So we have to take the steps. And when you know, when we make decision from being excluded, from being lonely, all these decisions are like, it's like spelled, so it's pulling us in direction that are engineered, and that are, you know, it's not our settings, it's not meant for us, and we are not strong, as you say, at that moment of decision. So it's always used against us, always. I would say also, you know, like people when they start these love story, you know, they all with their hormones going up and their neurotransmitter also getting involved. But if you look at with perspective, is this really love, or is it just a hormonal game? You know, people are being fooled by what they experience, and they believe what they are experiencing. But in the long term, you see that, you know, because if people don't work on their codependent patterns, they're just gonna repeat it when the honeymoon is over, and you know, you're not driven by this hormone anymore. What is left, you know, and what is the quality of the bond, and all of that, not believing so much what people are believing themselves, but seeing further about what's really going on. And when you do that, you see that a lot of romantical relationships are not based on love, they are based on different types of attachment, they are based on codependency, they are based sometimes on one person controlling the other one, or controlling them sometimes through their negative core belief about themselves, you know, their poor self-esteem. So you see these dynamics when you look deeper in what's going on, and it helps a lot to not be subjected to the spell of thinking that I'm a failure, or you know, that all these things. So that helps a lot to see things a bit with distance and perspective, and ask. And you may also ask, you know, like for the truth to be revealed, or to have some hints, to be, you know, to be supported in seeing in full transparency what's going on. You can ask that to creation. You ask for, you know, feedback for yourself, and this is very important to do that. Everything's so entangled that you have to find what's the next step where you can move. The important is to be moving, you know, you have to be conscious that you are moving through the fabric of reality, despite all the stagnant energy, all the aggressive, sometimes psychic targeting or remote control happening. So despite that, every day we have to keep moving forward, and we know when we are becoming stagnant, because we growing this not satisfied with ourselves. And then for, you know, when they are really people triggering us, we have to see how we can handle that, if it's really good for us, if we have ways to have control over when, how, and how often we are in touch with that. To you, um, but yeah, a juice fast is always gonna, I mean, when we are juice fasting, we are getting more feedback with ourselves. We are, it's things, some things become clearer. You know, it's like an evidence. Like it's like the nose in the middle of the face of someone. It's like, oh, it's been all along. It's been there, and now, yes, I have no way to doubt anymore. So it helps to make decision, but only if we make decision with that. And a fast is also a great time to sort our things, and we're gonna see it today also. There is like, I'm a big advocate of that. It's like cleansing not only the physical items around us, but also all that is virtual. And I made a list, and that helps a lot. That's like decluttering, and making space for new energy, sometimes even leaving a bit of void. And the void is really filled very quickly, because the control system have a lot of proposition. They don't like when there is a lot of space, so they will send new proposition. But and because that's like the 100-day fast, you know, if it's too big, then we're going to be discouraged in advance. So we have to find ways to also trick our mind, so the mind doesn't make a mountain of where we want to go. And for that we need, I mean, working on our health is massive, because it's reclaiming a lot. um, and it's modifying our relationship to time too, so we can do more in one day. All of that, this hour, these 2 hours, it can do a lot. Now it's hard when you are dealing with a romantic, you know, someone who shares space with you, who is advocating the voice of the devil in addition to your own difficulties and your own trigger. That's like adding, all of that is helping um, to restructure our life step by step, because we can only do so much in one day. And the system really tries for us to focus the energy in all the wrong places, in all the place where there is hidden contract, in all the place where we are being used, we are being harvested. And it can even be collaboration, or if we are the one using the other one, we have to see. But when there is this dynamic of using other people, it's also harvested on a loose level. It's the energy is not focused where it grows, like flower, like spring. You know, when you put a seed in someone and they do something great with it, like that's this idea.